They set up the single dad as a joke on a blind date with a deaf girl. His actions left them in tears. The restaurant lights glowed softly, but nothing felt warm that evening. Because the moment Daniel walked in, still breathless from rushing after dropping off his 7-year-old daughter at a friend's house, he sensed something was off. The two men at the corner table, the same co-workers who had insisted on setting him up on this special blind date, were already laughing behind their menus, their phones raised just enough to catch everything. And at the table they motioned him toward sat a young woman in a red dress, sitting perfectly still, staring down at her hands, unaware of their muffled snickers or the cruel looks exchanged behind her. That was the moment the hook of the night sank deep into his chest. This wasn't a date. It was a setup. A joke. A trap built on his loneliness, and on her silence. If you believe kindness and second chances can change a life, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness. Your one click helps spread more heart-touching stories like this. Daniel swallowed the ache rising in his throat as he sat down. He had spent years trying to rebuild a life after losing his wife unexpectedly. Every blind date until now had been awkward, forced, or cut short by the moment he mentioned he was a single dad. Yet he had agreed to this one because those same co-workers insisted it would help him move on. Now the truth hit him with a bitter clarity. They weren't trying to help him. They were trying to entertain themselves. The red arrow of their attention pointed at him, waiting for something embarrassing to happen. And they expected humiliation from the girl too, a young woman who sat with quiet dignity, unaware of their cruelty. She lifted her eyes when he greeted her gently, and that's when he noticed the hearing aid tucked behind her hair. She could hear some sounds, perhaps, but the room's noise likely blurred everything. She reached for a small notebook and pen and wrote something before sliding it toward him. "Hi. I'm Emily. Thank you for coming." Her handwriting was neat, soft, hopeful. Not expecting laughter. Not expecting ridicule. Just expecting a chance at something real. Daniel felt the weight of shame, not toward her, but toward those who had tricked them both. He forced a calm breath and wrote back. "Thank you for waiting. I'm Daniel. I'm glad to meet you." Her smile in response was small but warm, a fragile spark in a cold moment. The men behind him chuckled again, raising their drinks as if waiting for him to bolt or mock her. He ignored them. As the evening unfolded, Emily shared pieces of her life through short notes and expressive hands. She had lost most of her hearing as a child after an illness. She loved colors, painting, and sunsets. She worked with children at a community art center and believed every person had a story worth listening to, whether through sound or silence. Daniel felt something shift inside him as he listened. For the first time in years, he felt seen, not pitted. Their connection unfolded gently, two broken worlds learning how to breathe in the same space again. But the cruel whispers from the corner grew louder. The men snickered every time Emily paused to write something. Daniel caught them pointing at her hearing aid and laughing. His fists tightened beneath the table. Emily didn't notice. She was too focused on trying to read his lips, too busy giving her full attention to someone she believed was there with genuine intent. Daniel couldn't bear the thought of her discovering the truth. This wasn't just a date to them. It was entertainment at her expense. Then Emily wrote something that made his heart twist. "I'm always nervous on dates. Some people think talking to me is hard, or too much work. Thank you for being patient." She smiled shyly, unaware that patience had nothing to do with pity and everything to do with respect she deserved. Daniel exhaled slowly, determination forming like armor around him. The moment the waiter came by, he quietly whispered something to him. Minutes later, the waiter approached the laughing men and informed them politely that there was an emergency call for them at the front. Annoyed, they went outside. The waiter nodded to Daniel. The plan had worked. The emergency call was simply a distraction. Daniel took Emily's notebook gently and wrote a long message. "Emily, before I say anything else, I need you to know this. I am honored to be here. You deserve someone who sees your worth, your strength, your beauty, and your heart. And I see all of that. But the truth is, this date wasn't set up with good intentions. They meant it as a joke, not because of you, but because they thought I was easy to laugh at. I'm so sorry you were pulled into something so cruel. I would never do that to you. Emily read slowly. Her lips parted slightly, not in pain, but in surprise. Her eyes watered, not because of the insult, but because of his honesty. She took the pen back with trembling hands and wrote, "Thank you for telling me. Thank you for choosing kindness instead of pretending. Most people wouldn't." Then she wrote again, her hand steadier. "Do you want to leave together? We can go somewhere quieter. Somewhere real." And just like that, Daniel felt the heaviness of the night melt into something precious. As they left, they passed the two men returning inside, confused and irritated. Daniel didn't look at them. He didn't need to. He wasn't the punchline they expected.